다들 다 도마들이야 아니면 루틴이나 송부도마 주슈나 sometimes.
I thought that I would begin by reading from the instructions in the Torch of True Meaning.
Tene 미봉어라. 지린지 된게 남자 통과는 송바다 오버는 송바니 미라. 차게서 뭐 유튜브인지 뭐 터도 임베 대 오늘 되니 강곰 캐퍼메겐들 차시로 오버다 곰바 차시선 중대. 엄베들 부메서 제베선 전화 찬주 셈이 랭게 렘버 천실 지상게 추유출라. 메르세기스 야시 야체 코유뇽 라디들 규베딘도 부주 연락인데 초 키워곰 만주는 메도스마 담 오실 롱메 추이긴 거 마금 예초 엄버들에게 속이 체 타고도 주연고 저리수도 교바다 듄 따동 메시징이 저리 구요 주버고 곰 내를 홍시제의 지상게 딜량 메도고서 유수슈와 예미기 차신 리로스 민중 대신도를 접수 수수 사변을 개봐야 예견 늘 끼지 전소수 공부이 대내 측면마다 전용건배를 맞아디 나디지 끼지 공부이스.
For the actual visualization, the presentation of the world taught in the Kala Chakra and in the Abhidharma are different. Since Mahamudra is the ultimate essence of all the classes of Tantra, it makes no difference which of the two you visualize in the preliminary practices. But here the custom is to use the Abhidharma version as it is more well known. While saying Om Vajrabhumi and so forth, if you have some, sprinkle saffron water on the mandala to symbolize anointing it with the moisture of bodhicitta. Meditate that the mandala becomes a vast and spacious golden ground as even as the palm of a hand. On top of that there gathers an ocean whose fragrant waters have the 8 qualities. If scented water is not available, scatter the mandala with flower petals. It is not necessary to visualize the foundation below of mandalas of wind, fire, and water. While saying Om Vatareke, sprinkle grains counterclockwise around the rim in the manner of the Iron Mountains, and at the same time meditate that the ring of the horse-faced mountains made of flaming iron is created. There are those who at this point say Hum in places, drop a scented water or pile flowers in the center, but in this tradition there is no such custom. Likewise, one could visualize Mount Meru and so forth arising from their respective seed syllables, but here we meditate on them as being complete the moment they are thought of. Next, recite the words of the text while at the same time visualizing their meaning in order. The next passage describes the sequences of the meditation, and I think it's enough to just read these, so I'm going to read them.
남두 미큐지 세르게르드 주시 코베 파르 저수 연락게는데 미추 강원의 이신노부스 로이벤저 나소 이가 디시르 샤도 류파부 링 카본 다감 론즈 빌링 뭐 소가 누 팔랑 마본 돈보 차르메니 저 주시 입진 소수 링요 你的演员都看吧，一当看到做的什么，领天大个能的日不定，怕那下来说不多，就怕了民主院印的那个马尔目的是因为出现说是目前如果对产生的把什么就是应该拿在不亚的人来讲，极端主义、论据排除，这把事情，谁没些我们慢慢的落到，这必须设立这边，考虑自动吧，你们有些的事情，把这多么如果下半边农务世界。 분명히 이제 순수 정의도 된 주문 따는도 수달로 표준 싸워 대통 럼보 난거 통면도 저지 연락도 무신 때문에 랑신 대가 쓰게 자외요 봐 저게 지기 링식거로 따죠 Pundo Majin Dinda Guze Chuju, Zashi Rawan Tobe, Magwendi, Gesi Rimbuji, Namba Du, Wangan Surbuji, Nadu Semi Shibajo, Terchimbi, Pumba, Gimukamo Lani Doji, Kuzur Kur Temba, Tiwama Sem Metoda Rimbuji Tiwanziba, Luma Kamar Piwanzima, Karmanjim Karcheva, Metoma Sem Medoga Chumbu, Dubi Mamma, Pune, Mame Mamarja Marmo. 提前们这个提上去看同学number常识的难过了你们没写经过是许多吧中度的难过了到我去写经过4月年的对吧啥个的跑到让我吵对吗日日的定位那边给看上年王的创建得度吵起的新的那说这些是用多啥的说决心俺们那个道理确实还有就是点点难过了人不天多 人不去定了的，他不这个的说，还有那个老主一个吧，800没有，太大个定我旁边那不是，人不去都3年不把别嘛，同个人一百个人生苦了的这些个大的，买了里头同个人给完图啊，皮吧小用个的这些个这个，人不去嘛这提点，热的，西冷猪吧，快几年人不去定，上不出去，那些每个人都嘛，去年的特别在，就是句的不上不出，才是为这一些的。 热的不定给往罗木是西了的，你这给不在，假如买到个车，必须进步买到个哪些，这边查到的大说，我才会确认有些，苏州这就是这这边原定啊，人就把那的那么多嘛，到那他的面边就马上面全部干完的，悄悄那到会没所谓，确别起来，这基本上就热浪的雨，那些日子当天朝吃完茶给的，同学住了，东顺几天是天朝话场面被新加坡这个工作上确认一个的，当时身边他们这个流浪者，他们年的几月早的这个他们这个，那么老工作了，那么工作了，这方面不费力，长袖主吧了，爬这面下个是不超过7天一度特别忙了不，台的全部当那帮民这话没变就是一个，忙了样样旁边吃都吃，讲的彼此没把忙不乱没叫呢，是这里日本是人家的这。 3天的新港台的，南开卡就全面港的培育年没办法吃。顺不俺们呢，速度没办，地图记忆也办了，但是速度嘛在起，公路通讯的写个，长沙呗，车全部对嘛，他讲伊，他的准备买的都光呗，区域呢没有出，大说什么他们在那跑呗，从你用数他呢没有都说的，让他听不上。 给我从你这个大，我讲没那么多就是胸都塞，开不了那吃了胸中都着，确实一场白面都出了，大音吧音，大洋他吧音都可。
In the middle of the ocean is Mount Meru. It has 4 sides and 4 terraces and grows wider at the top. Its eastern slope is made of crystal, its southern of Veduria, its western of ruby, and its northern of emerald. The ocean, sky, and continents in each direction appear in the color of each side. Surrounding it are the 7 square golden mountain ranges, yoke holder, plow holder, acacia tree, lovely to behold, horse's ear, bowing down, and the rim holder, each of which is half the height of the previous. In between and surrounding them are the 7 playful seas, filled with waters that have the 8 qualities and the various treasures of the Nagas, wish-fulfilling jewels, and so forth. Beyond that are the continents. In the east is the white semicircular continent, a superior body. In the south is the blue trapezoidal rose-apple land. In the west is the red, round, bountiful cow. And in the north is the green, square, unpleasant sound. On either side of each continent is a satellite continent, the same shape and color as the main one. Within those lands, on top of Mount Meru and in the sky above, are a mountain of diamonds, Veduria, sapphires, emeralds, pearls, gold, silver, crystal, and other jewels. A grove of wish-fulfilling trees that rain down whatever is wanted and needed, a herd of wish-fulfilling cows from whose every hair springs whatever is desired, and inexhaustible untilled crops that dispel all hunger. There are the 7 articles of royalty, a 1,000-spoked wheel made from the gold found in the river Jambu, an 8-faceted gem which is as bright as the sun and which rains down what is not wanted and needed for many leagues, a queen lovely to behold who possesses the 32 qualities of feminine perfection, a most handsome and intelligent minister who can see underground treasures, a white elephant with 7 sturdy limbs, draped with a golden net, whose moves unhindered through the sky, and an excellent horse whose coat is the color of a peacock's neck and who can circle the 4 continents in one morning, and a general who has mastered the 64 athletic skills. There are also a vase of great treasure that grants an endless supply of the 7 types of jewels, sapphire and the others, the white goddess of charm with Vajra fists resting on her hips, the yellow goddess of garlands holding strings of jewels and garlands of flowers, the red and white goddess of music holding a lute, the green goddess of dance who is dancing, the yellow goddess of flowers holding a bouquet of flowers, the blue goddess of incense holding a censer, the pink goddess of lamps holding a lamp, and the green goddess of perfume holding a conch shell full of fragrant perfume. In the northeastern sky is the sun, a blazing orb of fire crystal, and in the southwestern sky is the moon, an orb of water crystal with cooling powers. Many constellations of stars and planets shine their light. On top of Mount Meru is the palace utterly conquering in the center, and Vishnu's city lovely to behold. On the 4 sides are the 4 parks, colorful chariots, and so forth. There are the trees, earth-piercing, all-gathering, and so forth, flat rocks such as Armonique, and the gathering place of the gods, good Dharma. In the sky above that, in ascending order, are conflict-free, joyous, and so forth, the abodes of the gods supported on clouds of jewels, as well as an immeasurable array of wealth. Above, below, and in between all of these are the auspicious symbols, the precious parasol, the golden fish, the vase, the lotus, the white conch swirling to the right, the endless knot, the victory banner, and the wheel, the 8 auspicious substances, a mirror, vermilion, white conch, durva grass, bilwa, yogurt, and mustard seeds, the 7 semi-precious articles, the jeweled bed, throne, cushion, sword, boots, snakeskin, and robe, many types of medicine that cure illnesses such as the 6 good medicines, vital essences and substances of accomplishment, various substances that prolong life such as strong elixirs and the good vase, objects that bring intelligence and renown, swords, books, lutes, and other musical instruments, and so forth. Wondrous offerings such as a shower of gold, rainbow-colored flowers, ponds of perfumed water, lotus gardens, and magical birds and animals, as well as many attending gods and goddesses. It is, in brief, filled to the overflowing, with all the abundance of gods and humans, none left out. Mentally take anything in the 10 directions that is unknown and can be given, and offer it. A billion such worlds with the 4 continents, Mount Meru, and so forth, is called a world of the great 3000s. Offer to the Guru and the 3 jewels uncountable such universes all filled with Samantrabhadra's clouds of offerings, as well as your own and all other beings' bodies, possessions, parents, relatives, and roots of virtue. Make aspiration prayers that we not encounter obstacles on the path to enlightenment, and that we attain the supreme city of Mahamudra in this very lifetime. Your hands never empty of offerings. Visualize offering and mentally make aspirations again and again without interruption. When accumulating repetitions, if your mind cannot cope with so many things to visualize, definitely visualize the ground, iron mountains, Mount Meru, the 4 continents, and the moon, and sun and moon, and then just imagine that this realm and everywhere there is space are filled with offerings and that you are presenting them. Longer and shorter mandala offerings range from the 5 to 37 features, but here it is the 37-feature mandala. The manner of placing the heaps should be learned through a visual transmission. When accumulating mandalas, just offer the 7-feature one. At the end, meditate that light radiates from the recipients of the offerings you have been visualizing on the mandala of accomplishment and strikes you and all sentient beings, completely perfecting the 2 accumulations. Think that the deities melt into light and dissolve into you. Dedicate the merit. The manner in which the actual signs of perfecting the 2 accumulations appear as experiences or in dreams is explained in the texts. But in particular, the truest signs are your mind turning strongly towards the Dharma, and your actions that are in harmony with the Dharma being accomplished without effort.
and the near Suji and Rishit Jumse Gap. The Nijan, Chidan Tamachishan, Togon, Wanda Yore, the Nabonda di Jun Jamwe, the Desha Inza, Tigi, 영화민도 제상 들이 쇼베 차야로 주시야래 당연히야 주시야가 무슨 전에 엄마로.
So that is the description of the mandala, and then there's some explanation of this. But I think it's good for us to first take a break. So we will have the half-hour break now, and then I will give some explanation of this. Actually, this afternoon we were planning to have a session this afternoon, but His Holiness the Drikung Chesan Rinpoche is arriving this afternoon, so we will not work to have a session this afternoon, and we will finish this morning.
Adne, da donajigi menje bugu menje telaya yawa sanajando yanji menjelaya kebar jose manjawa yondi yare.
So basically, in terms of the mandalas that we offer, there are different types, or several different kinds of mandalas we can offer.
Nang sangwan de menje sangwa shirwan de menje yangsang siwan de menje da de jeje da kana yo na ma ma da yo na ba shi zi yong de won shi de menje na ba yo na ba shi zi yong de.
Primarily, there are four types of mandalas we can offer. There is the outer mandala that is connected with the vase empowerment. There is the inner mandala connected with the secret empowerment, the mandala connected with the prajna wisdom empowerment, and the especially secret empowerment mandala connected to the word empowerment. And so in this way, there are four types of mandalas that are related to the four types of empowerments.
Kendar shumo cheje anda ji chipwan da de menje da teleya gos baba de chipwan da de menje chadi yusre.
Now, so of these four different mandalas that represent the four empowerments, it's not necessary to speak about the others. In this context, we are doing the mandala offerings that are connected to the external vase empowerment.
Telaya chipwan da de menje telaya anji kashwe ji ya nangse gi yawa no chuse yondi ya.
There are also several sort of internal classifications of the mandala that is related to the external vase empowerment.
Tangbo-di yongsu chabe-gi da menje-di da rongru chuye pabe nze shabe-gi tsubu sudu-ma di da di sagi gani yongsu chabe yunla chade-ba tende-ji-gi da menje-di.
Now, the most well-known mandala is the 37-feature mandala that was written by Chidyadrapa, and this is known in all of the lineages, the Sakya, Gelug, Kaju, and Nyingma.
And Chezadi, Maju Wondru Sabe Gabriya, then Chanso Chia, the Zodi, Medritsubu Dumater Chanso Chiare, Ibinea. Medret sumbu duma jare tang simbe chamleya ya sumbu sudu mere tangaki degi chashi yebi mere.
So when we are counting the repetitions in the preliminary practices, we primarily count repetitions of the 7-feature mandala, but after every 100 repetitions of the 7-feature mandala, we do a 37-feature mandala.
Da delaya sumbu sudu ma delaya ji kashwe migba gomdan ji da Laglen Tatanos, number Ni, Yosare Samchakdo.
Now, with the 37 feature mandala, there is the visualization and then there is the actual physical practice.
That museum did Lamsan Shutuya de Kalahusharesha. That is so the Kasue, the Nedun Jemeg Tea, and Jaina Juyore, Inji Tor Juyore, Danesi Girish, Dala Kalahans, and Tizulia Deche, and the Kasue Kaseturuji, Niba, Ovarusi. This is that in the
Now, the visualization is not always so easy to describe, but it is described here in the Torch of True Meaning. The Torch of True Meaning has been translated into Chinese, English, and other languages as well, and I think if you look at that, you will be able to understand it.
초신 가서 면제기 초신 뉘기 지 셋업 샤바티 소리야 엔지 연락 dwi바 마시바지 그래 그다디 아주 원조 감상기 로기 원조 예버티 나로래 미세 연락 dwi바 타로 지파시 매삼치 다 이비냐 원조 듀바 녜 축직의 체셔죠. 디나로 그지 연락도 뭐 주에서. 그래서 당부 연락도 저 연락도 세상 다 원주기 가서 다 쳐가서 말해. 원주 쳐가 뒤바디 와는 세비네 연락도 뭐다 안 디젤이야. 아니 지금 면제 필요하다. 그렇지. 다 기시 연락도 뭐 매비입니다. 근데 간다 누이랑 거 소신 세다네. 아니 면제 필요해요.
And so we begin by visualizing the field of refuge before us, and then there's the 7-branch prayer. Actually, in the long traditional Karma Kamsang preliminary practices, there is no 7-branch prayer. But I believe that in the shorter Ngundro that I wrote, there is the 7-branch prayer. And so in that shorter practice, then if in your preliminary practice it is there, you recite the 7-branch prayer and then make the mandala offerings. And if there are no 7 branches prayer, if there is no 7-branch prayer, then you visualize the field of refuge in the sky before you and then make the mandala offerings.
That nona mendepi kabli ya arejure da ji 아담보 이 라바연베 나로래야 라바연바티 엔 멘제주고야래 다 라바연바티 나로래야 야나지 루데스도 야나 중앙더지 나로체 라바동바메미체 라바연바 다 루드르 주세데 제데 멘제데송 데네 라바예베 나로래야 루주세지 로네 디 라베 랑아르키 다 카시 인디르체 이리아 전주 샘자의 쇼스 이지 쇼르 디스도아 전주 샘자사디 데네 벽이 소아르 병원의 셰비미나 전주 샘자사디 미상원으로 전주 샘자사디요 요새 말해 이 이거 포자다 모자다 만인기 자사지 자숨도와 그래서 만인기 자들이야 전주 샘자세 민덕원의 소아르 병원의 셰비나 그래서 미강가로도 전주 섬사사디 머닝 자리 유사 말해. 아주 도와지 전주 섬사를 좋아해서 뒤직 제시하나. 전주 섬 이야기한 쪽에 계셔주세. 딱 한다 가리면 랑아르기 봐. 라바예버 주다 제데 랑아르기 봐. 면제디 치고. 전주 섬사 연하면 다 제박 됩니다.
Now, when we are offering the mandalas, we hold the mandala in our left hand, But we first put a few grains in our left hand and inside our palm. It's important that our hand not be empty. And then we take a few grains in our right fist, and then we wipe the mandala plate, and we wipe it with the inside of our wrist, where there is the meridian or channel of bodhicitta. Now, actually, in the Tibetan explanations, it said that actually not everyone has the channel of bodhicitta. There are the male, the female, and the neutral channels, and the neutral channel is the channel of bodhicitta. But not everyone has it. Even though we might not have it, we wipe with the inside of the wrist where it would be in order to increase our bodhicitta. And so it's really not that important whether we have the channel or not.
다지 면제 치료 될래야 다간다 시주민도 니예베 시주민도 니예베나 다 당보데 가래잖아 예고도 렌숨 치과지 시주 당보데래야 예고를 렌숨 예고라바 예백 예고르치지 안에 렌숨치 그래서 나 되게 가르쳐 거라서는 란신 심지 탐지 얘기 에네 당보되기 오라 당보되기 란신 심지 탐지 얘기 녀모베 집어세요 매가체 오라 니버되기 에네 란신 심지 탐지 얘기 시제 집어세요 매가체 오라 숨버되기 란신 심지 탐지 얘기 바자기 집어세요 매가체네 나가나 꼬라 렌숨장
Now, in terms of the way we actually wipe the mandala plate, there are two different ways of doing it. In terms of the first way of doing it, it is to wipe the plate 3 times clockwise. And what this represents is that the first circle, or the first wiping around, represents cleansing ourselves and all sentient beings of the afflictive obscurations. The second represents cleansing us of all of the cognitive obscurations. And the third represents cleansing ourselves of and all sentient beings of all the obscurations of the imprints. And so that is why we wipe it 3 times.
이게 자원되는데 메르치하고 우스 사실로도 손디야래. 임지미지 이게 자와 되는 거 알으시 유사마때 임비네야. 아파진 리직도 삼도 뉴산에 에지 추주기 먼저다 데버를 차주면 로서머지. 아들 텐소. 추주기 이게 자와 자디 이지 추주기 먼저다 데버를 차주면 로서들 텐소 다이네. 이 개바스케면도 다 대한 지단 이게 자와 코란 양지 디집 타야 이 민상 디집 타야 나발라 초동하고 인상 안데 내가 토네야 미세기 그것이 이리 삼적도.
Now, in practice, our tradition, our custom is to recite the 100-syllable mantra of Vajrasattva as we recite this. I don't think it's absolutely necessary to recite this. I think that when we recite the 100 syllables, this is connected with the preliminary practices for the 6 yogas. In general, the 100-syllable mantra is the best mantra for purifying misdeeds and obscurations, and so I think that is the purpose and reason for it.
다드네 치당 니버디 가르면데 치수 니버디 가르잖아. 아니 알았잖아. 칠로리야 딱가는 예고이면 집어르시면 다. 다 기자면도 딱한다 파. 예고를 챘네 레니치. 안드네바 낭도 수. 그말로 다지 용고를 챘으면 칠로로 파 레니치. 낭을 수 레니치. 딘데샤로 수지. 여브레. 다디 가르사는데 당 칠로로 파 레니치아디 가르사나 아 당보디기 지 조디 마 땅아랑기 마다베 뇌기 변탐지 세워지 지기 삼바로 되면서 아 레니바 되기 에너지 주기 심지 탐지기 주기 딱 간다 지 주니 파사는 제가 녜세기 이냐면 되지 몇바체 다 되기 파칠지야지 다 나라 레니 치유는 다 되기 레 당보디 가르잖아 에네 다기 심지 탐지기 런도 에네 가수라지 사바 추이고 당원도 지기서 사바 추이고 다드네 니버디 치유는사네 에네 자샤와 롱주 조베고 나난다도 다 자샤와 수기고 루바치기 냐마로 다 든디지기 메바체네 다 셈키 레스 단도나 수주 멘데스에 걸레 마옹바라 가상 시에대야 님부 렘바사베 마옹베 톱지기 상기 공방 대단 제바예가 치시 안 멘데 제고로마다 다가스바 치데나 아니 지 잘라치데 지고로 아니 미세 가서라다데 그거 교제로지 알아 가버지 그거 교제 상황으로지 알아 가버렸습니다.
The second manner of wiping the mandala is to first wipe it twice clockwise on the outside, and then to wipe it once or two times counterclockwise on the inside. And so the reason for this is that when we wipe it twice on going clockwise on the outside, the first time that we wipe the mandala around represents purifying all of the faults in the external world environment. The second time represents cleaning all of the obscurations of all of the inhabitants, all sentient beings. And so that is cleansing the outer environment. And then wiping it two times on the inside, the first time represents that we and all sentient beings will manifest the profound Dharmakaya. The second time represents that we and all sentient beings will manifest the vast Sambhogakaya, or the vast form kayas. And so in this way, as I mentioned before, the meaning of a mandala is that we are extracting the essence. And so that means that it needs to be connected with achieving the state of Buddhahood that we need to achieve. Otherwise, if we just wipe it without thinking of this, it's just like wiping any other thing. And so it's important for us to make sure that our practice is excuse me, if it is just like wiping any other thing, that it is difficult for it to be connected or for it to fulfill its purposes.
진지직 치단으로 넘버 2 용되었다. 제자다 다단디 지 거스 바버디 착렌이야 가르쳐 버렸잖아. 아니 바지 착렌디 다지 바지다 마시디 가수에 녀든 주면 나로는 지 가수에 예고로도 내수 치스들이 손도와 야 녀든 자주 나로래야 안 떼스 민다로 스토사스 얘들은 자주 나눠래야 안 됐습니다. 또 삼수. 나는 이내 남주 차례는 벌써 가서다 치료를 내니치 담아들 주 나눠를 수지 치들지 지금도 삼 들을 대송. 아 대의미나 안 당기 치당 얘들은 주면 나눠네 손대야돼. 벌지 들을 자면서 칠을 파 내니치야돼. 누주니 같은 맞아지. 나를 주 렌지시야 되게. 사바다 야채와 이가 냠도 주변으로지. 이래지 만들어서 어디를 좀 봐요, 길서.
Now, these are the two ways that we can wipe the mandala plate. And in practice, what we do is, as described in the Torch of True Meaning, it says that we wipe the plate 3 times clockwise. This is a little different than what it says in the Ocean of the Definitive Meaning. In any case, in actual practice, what we generally do, I believe, is that we wipe it twice clockwise on the outside and then once inside counterclockwise. And so what that is, it's not what is described in the instructions of the Torch of True Meaning, but I think what it is that the two outside are cleaning the external environment and its inhabitants, and the one on the inside is related to both the profound and the vast kayas of the Buddha. And then immediately after we have wiped it, we need to sprinkle the mandala plate with flowers. As I mentioned before, when we hold the mandala, we must not have an empty hand. We definitely should have either some grains or some other offering within the palm of our hands. If we do not, and we instead have empty hands, then because of interdependence, this makes the connection that it'll be difficult for us to develop qualities, or that we will later become poor and impoverished. And so this is a bad connection. And then after we've wiped the mandala, we must immediately sprinkle it or place the flowers on it. If we leave it empty, then this makes the connection that there will be a longer age, an age of darkness when no Buddha appears. And so because of interdependence, it's important that this is all because of interdependence, and so this is the reason for doing this. And then there is the actual offering of the mandalas. And when we offer the mandalas, we offer them to the 5 jewels. And so in the middle are the gurus, and then surrounding them are the rest of the jewels as described in the liturgy for the practice. And so among these, so there are the 5 different jewels. Among them, the primary one is the guru. And so making the mandala offering to the guru is the greatest of all offerings. And so in the center is the guru as Vajradhara. He is indivisible from Shakyamuni Buddha and from your root guru. And so this Vajradhara in the center is the primary recipient. There are many guests or many recipients here, but the primary among them is your guru, Vajradhara.
예수 상계체 야도 담배 취체 연도다 밥에 긴두치 되지 구정한 좀체 아니 반삼 탐제도 지 이시기 최경 라서바 드리쇼되어 드리시 이부터.
And so the 5 jewels means that in the middle is your Guru Vajradhara. In front of him are all the Yidam deities. To the right are all the Buddhas. To the back is the Dharma. To the left is the Sangha. And then in between are all of the wisdom protectors and so forth.
다드네 다 오면서 부미 아혼스 라비가울이야 아니 멘제 캬바 멘제 코란베 차상 캬바를 드리지기다 메도이나 라다 최제 가리나 디기 캬바를 메도 점 안디가울이야 다지 다 오시 룩이 긴걸라서 마검난지그레 검난지그레 마검난지그레 송도와 검난지게 아래 마검난지게 아래 다 검베 왕도 담베나 룩이 긴걸 가서에 롱이 긴걸 검 디딘 추이 긴걸 검 디딘도네 사이 긴걸 완전 세기스 도스 검제 그래서 제고 알았어 다들 엄베다 레케 아우스 라두사네 아니 멘제가 타고를 내야 돼 고라 유용고를 쳤네 도스 그 송도와 고라 유용고를 쳤네 메도 잡네 다 디기 세기 타고를 내야 되네 다 간다라 가져야지 자기라고 거셔 스머다 되지 그라 도스 고마르 도스 인스라바.
And then when we recite Om Vajrabhumi Ahum, then we sprinkle the mandala immediately with flowers. We fill it and cover it with flowers. Now at this point in the instructions it says that we can visualize the mandalas below of wind, fire, air, of wind, fire, water, and so forth. We can visualize them below or not. And so if we visualize them below, first there's the mandala of wind, above that the mandala of fire, above that the mandala of water, and above that the mandala of the earth. Then when we recite Om Vajreke Ahum, we sprinkle flowers around the outside of the mandala plate in a counterclockwise, as it says here. And this represents the ring of iron mountains.
르름네 마지 지윤주산에 아니 겐생게 바도 초래 넘버 게베 겐생게 바도 아니 숨부숨 수디 고고 알았어 다들 숨부거다는데 시험 먹었지 아래 이제 뒤집니다 이제 시험 먹었지 디자 리모트는 담도 망고 쓰니도 제가 듣다그들 잘 받지 하면
And then you place the 37 piles. So these are the piles representing everything from Mount Meru in the center to the banner. So the first is the Mount Meru, then you go through them all, and the last, the 37th, is the banner that is victorious in all directions. It's not necessary, nor is there time to explain each of these. In fact, there are many drawings and diagrams of this nowadays, so you can look at these and you will understand.
듄텔이야 듄디 꽈당들이야 지 랑조체니 지 지차제다 쉐바비세 라근 듄차르 드리시 나머니도와 랑 듄기 완드신 딜레샤오라 듄디 샤르티 샤람 듄디 딜레샤 쉐바기 비세기 초신기 듄조체비네 양 듄디 샤르 딜레야 뭐시야 제가 디지 개발을 아 어디 르브제샤 다는 윤지 퍼지 최법 비세기 소신기 윤지 조를 체체 샤든들레 그 랑그 초를 수여비체 계시다 랑 초를 수여비체 수치는 거야지랑 파신 거야지 윤지 되지 나머 인용도 와 그래서 나는 윤을 조데 소신기 윤 제주사 랑그 초를 타니에르
Now when we are placing the piles, there are two different ways we can do this. we can either take the direction east in relation to ourselves, or we can do it in relation to the recipients, the field of merit. And so there's this distinction. If we do it in relation to ourselves, then the east, the first pile, is on the far side of the mandala plate. Whereas if we were doing it in relation to the field of refuge or the field of merit, then it is on the near side in relation to ourselves, and that to the east according to the recipients of the offerings. And so the usual practice is that when we place them, we place the offerings in relation to the recipients, the field of merit. And so we place them starting from the side closest to ourselves, which is the east, in relation to the field in relation to the field of accumulations. And so we begin with the east on the near side of the mandala plate.
다드네 다디제르지 멘데 춤부 두마드레 다 멘데 춤부 두마데 안데지 자가기 라베 다 지기 다디시 모체 다 자가 라베 기시 모체 아다 춤부 두마데 아주 다디 조디 에너지 서기스시여베체 텔레 저리 거데베체 디윌리아다 리저품부여베체 디탈레야 조다 링시 거데버듯이 되는 니마단 다외기 다지 지르적 예연라야바 니마단 다외기 겐데버치체 다 된저비기 딱 간다지 링시르럽도 제바디 아니 상계에게 투게다 만함을 총백이 답의 신 난신지 임바지 수수이기다 인지게다 마스나 imagination sommar다지 수수이기다 되지 비임바 미바체네 다퓨 대피비 톨라 때네 바신로와 탐색이 되네 지 사제기 치마다 체외기 신금 넘버 타바라 론체네 그 구시 공부 타버 교지 삼바로 다 된대지 미배관의 피하러지 된대지래셔 다디 조르 장소차 대인상 디 미바티 조르 다디 전부 뉴니 순수소든사데 디즈가라 커버지 아 제가 조르다 미바 리버dim선로디
And then there is the 7-feature mandala offering. And so for that, around the edges there is the ring of iron mountains. In the center is Mount Meru. Surrounding that are the 4 continents, and then there is the sun and the moon. And so it is primarily visualizing Mount Meru and the 4 continents. And so we imagine this as a pure realm that arises from the aspirations and compassion of the Buddha. And by making this offering, then we imagine that this also makes the connections that we and all sentient beings may be freed of all the defilements, achieve the pure realms, and then also achieve the pure 4 kayas of the Buddha. And so when we are accumulating the mandalas, we primarily accumulate this 7-feature mandala. This 37-feature mandala is difficult to visualize, so we primarily visualize offering the 7-feature mandala. The mandala offering comes from the Kadampa tradition. It came from Atisha to the Kadampa tradition and was one of their primary practices. And so for this reason, the great Kadampa masters said that this is the greatest way that you could gather the accumulation of merit with your bare hands.
유세데 안다르지 아베 송하다 용수 마송하다 라나 예바다 라나 메바다 안다나 라신기 류롱제 투숨 계획 싸와다 제바 탐제로 제바 유세데 직도 뽕제 휴셔 예베 인주산다 제바 꾸기다는 자왜 다지 제바 초도 규반도 또 차대 알아 안다나 멘제사디 가수기 다지 담배 취다 라마 군조래야 베지 로데 이체 다 이체 련겐도 지다 다는 시델이야 베 가수라다지 최소리야 에너지 소수기 료동 가가지 제도 여바로 진짜게 닝도 천세로 지가 근데 딱 간다라 이지 심슈 천세로 또 사대요 알아 제가 디균전에 때네 한다 가수라다지 면제 필요하디 딱 간다라 아 천세 강차는 제가 의미냐 아 개체무지 사대요 알아서
Now, the mandala is said to be the best of all offerings because all of the other offerings that we make are partial offerings or biased offerings. We offer a few things here. There are the material, the unsurpassable, or the material offerings. But here in the mandala, we gather all the offerings. The unsurpassable offerings, our bodies, ours and all other sentient beings' bodies, possessions, and everything that's owned and unowned, and we all gather it into a single mandala and make that offering, so that is the best and the supreme of all offerings. And so when we offer the mandala, then we need to place our trust fully in the Dharma and in the jewel of the Guru. We need to have complete belief in them. We also need to think of them not giving up on us and also have great courage, and also have great courage in making the offering. And so for this reason, and no matter whether we think about it in terms of what it represents or how it represents it, it is an important offering.
다시 멘제 남중 아주 멘제기 차례는 멘제 피해가 소주 뒤숨쇼에 상계 전주 선바다 사지어봐 뒤치지봐 뒤뒤네 여러베데 간다디 런중도 제샤버스 송도와 링시 체와 차게다 체와 문도 동주를 됐어 지여러 링시 배차 링시 찍자만 바베 링시 체와 차게 체와 문도 동주를 나가다 야체선의 시에는 동순 다 동순기 동치비 지dengi 감게 세계 유서 만다 동순기 동치비 세계 유서만 나간다 가르치는 베때 나간다 러비싱 야체다를 취해제 나간다 람잠 삼조를 하고나 가르라고나 다 들으시네 근데 상월로 지 야체선의 시에는 유니버스 말다 유니버스 라이프가 따다니다宇宙스란 디 야체선의 시에는 디주피야 다 야체선의 시에는 랑기지 류롱제 지 가르르다지 상월로 되봐 중세계 신바다 참바 중세계 매가 탐제 달라마도 구조라 퓨 다되는 왜 라마 구조라 퓨가 균센데야 다간다지 수수기 이제 다다 룰 이제 가르다 간다 간다지 수수기 다다 류아 이순데 엔지 신 섬제 탐제래야지 편도 예버지당 안지 가르다지 연습자 탐제라 펜버 주투야 그러지 되는지 가면도 다들 라마도 군조를 야 퓨네 라마도 군조 대 양고지 배주를 그러지 딱 가르쳐다지 이 두지시라 배주를 낭치 다 간다베 잘한다 무슨 야 퓨네 다들 라마도 군조 봐 배주를 그러지 낭치 그래서 연주산 딱 간다 수수기 룽아 예수데 마음발지 심제 탐제라 펜버 다시 뭐 알아 되지겠다 룽아 예수 아다지 된단데베지 다 다 드니지 심게로 장과다 계점으로 좀 만들어 선 도스팅도 다 망고 시작쇼니다. 근데 더가지인 다 더가지인
So if we think about it in terms of the greatest or the vastest expression, it's like offering the entire universe. We talk in the Dharma about the world realm of the great 3000s, the billion-fold world realms, and that we're offering these all in a single mandala. Actually, in our mandala practice, there is the passage that follows the passage following the offering, where it says that we offer all of the billions or the 100 billions of world realms in all of the different directions. This is a passage that was written by the third Karmapa Rangjung Dorje. And so the meaning of this is that we're not just offering a single world realm with a single Mount Meru and the 4 continents. We're offering not just the billion-fold realms of the great 3000s, but we're offering the entire universe without any limits. You could say it's infinite, beyond number, and countless. This is the vast level of looking at it. We are offering the entire universe. In any case, we are offering our own body, all of our possessions and all of our things. We are taking them all together and we are offering them to the Lama. And the reason that we are doing this is that at this point our own body, speech, and mind are not able to bring that much benefit to other sentient beings. They're not able to accomplish much help for other sentient beings. And so if we offer them to the gurus and to the jewels, then they will be able to use them. And so this will mean that eventually our own body, speech, and mind will become able to bring vast benefit to all sentient beings and will become meaningful. And so that is what is most important. And so it's not necessary to say much more. I will leave it here.